Alright guys, I'm gonna try to, I tried to do an outdoor video. There's too much going on. There's singing and these guys singing and playing the music and cars going by making noise, and so I have to do an indoor video. For Army Life, today we're talking about South Korea. Okay, and if I seem a little distracted, it's because my cat is really sick. You know, my calico, and I don't know, she's on her way out, so I'm just depressed today about that. But this is the jacket that I got in South Korea. It used to say Korea right there, but it's pretty wore out. It's an old jacket. It's like 16 years old. So, you know, one story that I forgot to tell you that I want to slip in here was there was a murder when I was stationed in Germany. There was a cook that got murdered there, female, in Höchst, and she got stabbed to death by this guy. And I knew both soldiers, victim and suspect, and it was weird because you knew her, and then or you saw her, you know, serving food and stuff in the dining facility, and the next day she was gone. Like, and they arrested the guy who said he was on drugs when he did it, and he still deserves a death sentence. He was a real idiot too. I don't know. But I forgot to tell you guys about that happened. We had a guy at Fort Lewis when I was stationed there. He pulled a gun on Pope Air. I think that was Pope Air Force Base, wasn't it? I think that's there. But he pulled a gun on the Air Force Base. Pulled it out from under his seat because he got in a fight with some guys in an argument. So he pulls a gun. Now the gun wasn't loaded, so the most he got was an Article 15 for having a firearm on him. So if it had been loaded, he would have been screwed, blued, and tattooed. But I guess the Air Force police came up and they took the gun from him, and there was no clip or nothing in it. He said, "I just use it for," you know. He goes, "I just use it for protection." They go, "Yeah, but it's empty." It was good for him. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about South Korea. I'm going to put a link over here to QIRANGER. QIRANGER is in Korea right now. You guys got to check him out. So he's there right now. Go check out his videos and check out, you know, some of the things he's seen there. But when I was there, it was just what a fun time. The whole place smelled like kimchi, which is I've heard people say it's spoiled cabbage, but kimchi is like a cabbage dish, and if you smell kimchi, you'll never forget that smell ever, 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 ever. You smell it again, you'll go, "That's kimchi." I mean, you just know it. We'd ride a bus into town. There was this bus, and it was a military bus. It was, you know, designed just for us. It would come at a certain time in the day, pick us up, take us into town. Then we'd come back at a certain time of day and bring us back to our barracks, because we lived outside of town in these barracks that were actually for soldiers coming to Korea to do like a 30 or 45 day mission and then going home. So they were like temporary barracks. We were there for 45 days. The bus driver, while he was driving, would always, you know, da 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 da, and it always reminded me of Miyagi. Remember Mr. Miyagi when he was always doing that da 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 da? And it smelled like kimchi. The whole bus smelled like kimchi. Cab drivers, be careful. Cab drivers there. This guy got out of the cab, and it was an $8 cab ride, and he gives the cab driver $20. You know, and you get your change back, and he gives the cab driver $20, and he goes, "Thank you." Guy was like, "Oh, wow, wow, my change." What the fuck? So you pay the cab drivers from the back seat, and then if they go, "Thank you," you go, "My change, you owe me change." If you get out and hand it to them, they're gone. Because they think you paid them, right? When I was there, I didn't buy a whole lot. We didn't have a whole lot of time to shop. We just had to shop quick. We had to ship stuff home quick because we were mainly involved in military operation stuff for our field exercise. But I did get hats for everybody in my family with their name in Korean. I got a photo album from my mom. It had, I think it was embroidered, but it had the country of South Korea on the front of it. And I wanted to get more stuff. I just, like I said, we just were so strapped for time. Well, except at night, but most of the shops were closed at night. Some of the restaurants were open. They said don't eat downtown because They fertilize their vegetables and rice and stuff with sewage. I didn't care. I went downtown and ate some Yaki Mandoo. Yaki Mandoo is good stuff. Yeah, buddy. Put a link to it right here. You're going to have to check it out. Yaki Mandoo. Good freaking stuff. We got to go to the DMZ. Another link to it right there. The DMZ. And while we were there, that's North Korea and South Korea put together right on the border, kind of like Canada and U.S., Mexico, U.S., North Korea, South Korea. And the demilitarized zone was where all the soldiers from North and South Korea were there patrolling their border. And the North Koreans were all big son of a bucks, man. They were big guys, really tall, wide. One of them came up to us, who was doing this at the window while we were in the little waiting room. He was intimidating us. The rock soldiers, that was the Republic of Korea, and the little South Korean guys, man, they were all real short and real stocky, and they would hide halfway behind the building and halfway out. They were always standing. They said that was in case we were fired upon, they could go behind the building. But they wouldn't blink, they wouldn't move, and I wondered if they were breathing half the time. I mean, it was just, they were disciplined. I couldn't be that disciplined. Camp Casey was down there, and they said these guys have like 2 minutes to respond from an incident. So in other words, they had shifts that they would pull, and they would sleep dressed. All their gear on, everything, just sleep dressed. So if something went off, they're boom, 2 minutes to get to the zone. But it was really interesting. It was a nice tour, and like I said, links to it over here. Do they eat dogs in South Korea? I'll get to that in a second. There was these hills or mounds that they had out in front of our barracks, and they were like 4 feet high or so, and we'd walk to the top of these things and look around. And one day this little security guy was out there from South Korea, and we asked him, he said, "Hey, what are these mounds here?" And he said, "Oh," and I never researched it. I should have did it today, but I didn't. He said that when people die in Korea with a lot of possessions, they're buried with their possessions. They bury you with all your possessions, forever. And so some of the guys that were standing on this hill are like, and they come running off the hill, and nobody, this is a true story, ever went on that hill again. Or nobody that was in that area listening to that story ever went up on that hill again. We were like, buddy, standing on dead people. I see dead people. Now we asked this guy too. We said, "Do you eat dog?" We said, "Do you eat dog?" He says, no, crazy money. No eat dog, crazy money." And what he meant was, it's expensive. I guess it's like lobster tail or something there. It's like really a delicacy. It's called bulgogi. And yes, they do. Where we were at in our temporary barracks, they had a paved road, then they had a dirt road, and then on the other side of the dirt road was a dog farm. I'm not going to go into detail because some of my subscribers would crucify me for going into detail on this. But, because I mean, it was really bad. If you've ever seen videos or footage of them, bringing cows in for beef, there you go. Same thing with dogs. And we'd always give them dirty looks, these guys. They were in a barn in the back with the door open, and we could see what they were doing. Believe me, they do prepare dogs for restaurants. I've seen it. And we were like, they were giving them dirty looks. Some of the guys, when nobody was around, would flip them off. And so they finally shut the door while we were there, and they wouldn't open it anymore. But we were trying to free these dogs one night. We're out there, and they had this special latch on there. It wasn't locked or anything. It was just a certain latch that I've never seen before. But you could undo the latch and slide it and let the dogs out. We couldn't get this latch open. It was jammed or something. And we're trying to get this thing up, and the dog started barking. And we're like, shh, 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 hey, puppy, puppy, puppy. And that made him bark even louder. And we're like, oh my God. Finally, lights are coming on in the little house there, and we all ran across the street, and we never got another chance to do it. We couldn't free them. We tried to free the dogs. Sorry, PETA, we just couldn't do it. We did too. We tried to free them things, but yes, they eat dogs there. Yes, they do. Soju. Soju is compared. I don't know what to compare it to. Maybe. I want to say vodka, but I think it's a little stronger than vodka. Maybe, what's that, Everclear? Yeah, soju is the Korean version of American Everclear. It's some stuff. Now, I never drank soju while I was there. I didn't drink the whole time I was there. And I didn't, because I was in church at the time, and I just, you know, so while I was there, I just didn't drink or anything. I went out and I ate, you know, with some of the guys, and we ate and stuff, but I never drank or anything. But to hear it described, oh, it's powerful stuff from her. I heard it was like drinking gasoline. Now, what happened? Some of the sergeants went out drinking, and this one sergeant, I forget his name, but Sergeant Davis was the other guy. This one sergeant, oh, what was his name, man? He comes running into the barracks. You gotta hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me. We're like, dude, chill out, man. No, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me. We're like, what? And he just kept saying it really fast. We're like, all of a sudden we hear, where's that sergeant at? What? Boom! And the door comes flying open. We're like, whoa! Sergeant Davis was about 5'10" and 295 pounds. I kid you not. He was big, huge, stocky dude. And he wasn't all muscle. There was a lot of chunky fat on him. That's, I think, what made him bigger. But he was just big dude. I exaggerate not. It took 9 guys to hold him back. And probably because he was all so jewed up too. So, you know, he just, you know, when somebody gets drunk, they get a little bit of extra strength because you don't feel the pressure and tension, and you're, you know, you could punch somebody and break your fist and not even feel it when you're really, really drunk. So, you know, he was just pushing his way through, and they were trying to get this sergeant hid. They were trying to get Sergeant Davis out of there. He's ready to just kill this guy. I mean, he's screaming and going off. It's 2 in the morning. Everybody's awake now. We're all laughing, actually. Like, this is funny. Where's Sergeant? And we look back down the hallway, little barracks room there, and Sarge is high crawling on the floor, going out the back door, because there was a front door here. You go down the hall. Right at the end of the hall was the back door. It was almost like a hooch. Think of a square hooch. And Sarge is high crawling out the back door of this hooch, man. And we're laughing our ass off. And Sergeant Davis goes, I see you, Sarge! And they're holding him back. So he turns around and runs from the people. And they're like, whoa, whoa, we'll grab him. And he goes out the front door around. And Sarge ran into the woods and hid. He never found him. But you could hear them screaming for 45 good minutes. We were laughing so hard. Sarge had pucker factor of 10. That means his sitting place was puckered up. He was pretty scared. He was pretty scared. And it was funny. That was the funniest thing that happened there. Sarge just, and so the next day both of them had to go see the colonel. Not the colonel, I said colonel. The captain. They had to go see the company commander, who actually got a laugh about it. Second day in country, we did start a riot. Well, we did. A couple of soldiers did. They go down into this little village, and they're looking around, and they wanted to see they said, we want to go see the real Korea, you know, the village, not some town. So they're in a small village, and I mean village. When I say village, think village. And one of them grabs an apple or an orange. It was a fruit. I don't remember what it was. But a bunch of them fall onto the ground, and the guy wants him to buy all of them. And he's like, no, I didn't mean to do that. And he's trying to put them back up. And he goes, no, you don't put up. You buy. You know I put back. You buy. And he's like, no, I'm not buying them. It was an accident. So the guy pulls a screwdriver and puts it to his belly. And the soldier slaps the screwdriver, pushes the storekeeper or the shopkeeper, who falls on his back. Now we've got the whole village trying to attack these 2 soldiers. The South Korean police, a police car came in, and they were actually protecting the soldiers. They were trying to hold the village back. They were speaking in Korean. And all of a sudden the MPs come in with this van, and they grab the 2 soldiers, throw them in the van. The whole village starts rocking this van. Even the police wouldn't stop them. They're like, no, 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 no. And they're rocking this van. The MPs finally drove through the crowd and drove off. Oh, the first sergeant went off. That was the same first sergeant I talked about last week. And he was like, we're in country 2 bloop days, and you bloop start a bloop riot. And he sounded like Bobby Knight, you know. He's like, bloop, you started a bloop riot, you stupid bloop, 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 you bloop, bloop, bloop. And it sounded like Bobby Knight. And it was, oh man, they started a village riot, second day in country. That was funny. Come on, it was funny. But that's about all that happened in South Korea. I don't know. Do I have any more stories to tell? We did have, they shut our water off for 4 days. I don't know why. I can't remember why, but I remember they had these water buffalo was a big, huge tank on a trailer. It was a water buffalo, and it held water, and that's how we got our water to drink and stuff. Well, that's how I showered. I would go in the shower. Now, the shower, the guys had it for 2 hours, and the girls had it for 2 hours. And it was just a public shower, like you would have in high school or whatever, in the gym. But they had wood pallets for a floor. And I'm in there, and I wet down with this 5-gallon jug, soap up, lather my hair with shampoo, take another 5-gallon jug, and flip it up. This is in the winter time. It's freaking cold. It's so cold you can't even feel your ears outside. And I'm naked in the shower pouring cold water on my body. I'm like, finally when I got dressed and went into the barracks, they go, dude, did you just take a shower? I go, yeah, I just took a shower. They're like, dude, it's freaking cold out there. I go, no, I'm freezing. My face is red, but you know what? I told them, I said, yeah, but I smell good. And I did. Everybody else kind of smelled bad. It was like, guys, you guys need a shower. It's been 4 days. Anything else I need to cover about South Korea? No, that was pretty much it. See you guys next week. Next week, we're going into Army recruiting. Ooh, I got some stories about that. I'm going to tell you about a first sergeant that lost his job and his stripe in recruiting duty. He was a dick. I'm also going to tell you about some other things that happened that were really funny and really stupid and really, well, you're going to hear a lot of stories. Trust me.